Okay, cool. Hey, this is the Screw Attack Gaming Convention. I guess some places it's known as Southwest Gaming Convention. Screw Attack, from Metroid, whatever. But we're in the Indie Haven area where all these indie games are being showcased. And this developer, what do you guys go by?
We're called True Fun Entertainment.
True Fun?
Yes.
Cool. True Fun. Okay.
Yep.
And now this game caught my attention. I was walking by and it actually looked like Mega Man on the Game Boy.
Right.
So can you tell us about your game?
So basically it's an homage to the really old school, really lo-fi games of the Game Boy. It's done in a 4-color palette, it's built at like 144 line resolution, and it's available on the Xbox indie games right now, trying to get on Steam Greenlight. You play as Rad in the 1980s trying to save the United States from the Soviet Union. So it's all very much about like the 80s retro everything, from the storyline to the character designs to the gameplay.
And what are some influences? I mean, obviously looking at it, I can see games that I've played that I'm like, yes, that's from that. But for you personally,
right,
what are some influences?
Definitely. So Mega Man is the starting point for it, of like the kind of run and jump gameplay that sort of defined 2D platformers for a lot of us growing up. There's elements and abilities though taken from a lot of other games. Like we love how in Castlevania and Metroid you gain abilities, and sort of the mobility you get in Castlevania when they added like the dashing later on. So you can like slide and dash and jump and dash backwards now. So there's a lot more mobility from like the Castlevania and Metroid series. And then like a lot of just enemies from games like Contra and Mario Brothers. There's a lot of like very direct references. We've got some references to kind of funny things where you have like that overlap of like the Berlin Wall is built out like the Contra Wall. So you've got the 80s gaming and 80s history sort of overlapping in the game.
That's cool.
So.
That's cool. And so, okay, so you said earlier, what platforms, what are you developing for right now? What platforms?
So the game was developed in the .NET framework with the XNA extensions. I'm not the programmer, so I can't tell you the details of all that. Sure. But it's all like C# PC game code for the Xbox. But that makes it pretty easy to port to other Windows platforms, and some developers have come up with ways of porting that to other, potentially Mac and Linux, depending on how much demand there is for the game on those platforms. So we're hearing a lot of people on the Steam Greenlight page really want a Linux version of the game. So we're like, all right, if enough people wanted that, and if it's not terribly difficult to do, then we could maybe do that. But yeah, Steam is and PCs are ultimately the ideal. Yes. A lot of people have asked, iOS and stuff, but it's a precision platform where you've got to have buttons.
Well, that's good that you know that, because a lot of times you'll see something released, and maybe just to release it on iOS to make some extra, funds to develop it. Now, did you say you had another title that was actually on the Indie Games channel of the...
Yeah, so we have a game, we call it Bop and Pop. It's a game that my developer partner, Chris, has worked on. It's kind of the way he learns new languages. He learns JavaScript like that, action scripting, by building this game out. So we made an XNA version as sort of a weekend project to test it out. And that was sort of the first time we worked on something. It was a 1 or 2 week thing just to see all right, let's get our hands into this XNA thing and see what it's like.
So. And so he was able to easily submit it to the Indie Games channel?
Yeah, so there's a pretty rigorous process of it's community. It's all community stuff. Right. Microsoft has they don't give you any promotion, but they don't get in your way either.
Right.
It's all about you put it on. You basically put it on the Creators Club forum, and they will they rate it based on they look for any crashes or usability issues, and will pass or fail your game based on that. So then it's pretty much just rated by the community in terms of violence or language content, that sort of thing. And then as long as it's sort of up to snuff on the technical side and the usability side, you're pretty much in from that point. So. Okay,
so looking forward with these new consoles, and I don't know if you've looked into this at all, but so with Xbox One, I know things are supposedly different when it comes to...
Yes.
So are you guys even looking at Xbox One right now? Or?
As of right now, not really at all, because so Microsoft has essentially pulled support for the XNA stuff.
That's what I heard.
The entire Xbox Live indie games, it was always kind of buried, but now it's it's not even being supported anymore. So it still exists if you want to make games with it, but it's not really a great. It doesn't from our end, it doesn't seem like it's a great option going forward.
Is it easy to be able to port your games?
I think so. It's all, again, I'm the artist.
Oh, sure.
So that's more of a question. They make wrappers now so that you can take the XNA stuff and port it to other things. It's a matter of like the syntax of the code language, I think.
And I've seen that happening. I mean, I'm seeing some of these XNA games, so that's great because this is kind of, I guess, later in this console generation, so you want to see it revive. Like a lot of people are jumping onto PS4, even PS3 still because of the opening, the Vita. Is that an option?
Yeah, so that's one of those things of, as little tiny indie developers, it's real hard to know how to get in touch with the big companies. Yeah. That's why we're here at these conventions, because as we get in front of more people, the chance that someone at a place like Nintendo or Sony hears us and maybe can reach out to us. We can send them emails all day, but there's no guarantee that we're gonna hear much from them as like a little two-man development studio. So it's definitely something. This is our first real finished game kind of. So the thought of like even getting in touch with Sony or Nintendo is really sort of like, we haven't even considered that.
You guys are just happy where you are.
Right. And we want to take
cool.
it further, but we're trying to make sure that, like I said, like sort of build a support base on the internet, get Twitter followers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
True Fun 101.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
That's our Twitter group.
Okay. I'll link that.
But yeah, like just kind of trying to build like a ground base of support for the game. Because Greenlight is a huge thing. If you can get on Greenlight, then you've got a million eyeballs on your game.
Yeah, that's
as
true.
Opposed to Xbox indie games where you've got maybe 1,000 eyeballs on your game.
Well, that's good. It seems like there's other sources for that and all that. And I guess has development gone good? After watching that indie game movie, Phil Fish, it sounds like, oh man, that was like so. But you seem like a happy guy.
Yeah. So I mean, we're happy now because it's done. There's definitely a period in there where it's rough.
Okay.
You always start with the burst of creativity and all the ideas that you're throwing out there, and the sky's the limit. You want to do everything in this game, and then as time goes on, you sort of hit the doldrums of like, well, we're building things out. Everything is half finished. Nothing's really playable, and then you get to the playable point, and you're really happy there. And then you get to the like actually testing and realizing like all these things that have been on the back burner. You've got so many little things to finish. Like, oh, when a bullet hits this thing, there's no sign of damage. So you've got to like go in and like, all right, what are we gonna do for like impacts? So what are we gonna do for, it kicks up a little bit of dust when he slides back. We've got to add that graphic in. Like, just dozens and dozens of little animation fixes. From the art side, like backgrounds. We sketch in the backgrounds sort of roughly, and then you've got to go in and painstakingly do this pixel art for a lot of the high detail stuff.
That's cool. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so for now then, what do you suggest people do? Go to the Steamlight page?
Yeah, definitely follow us on Twitter.
Greenlight,
If you got an Xbox 360, you can download the game. It's $1, so
that's awesome.
It's well worth $1
on the indie channel and Steam Greenlight. Okay,
yes,
cool. Well,
like us on Steam Greenlight and give us a thumbs up there, and basically like try to help us get the word out to more and more people. Like I said, like retweets and follows and sort of like using the whole viral thing. Like if you like the game, tell your friends about it. Help relay your friends of friends about it, and try to build a network like that to get us on Greenlight and get us a little bit more flexibility in what we can do with the game. So
cool. Well, hey, thanks a lot, man. Thanks
thank you
for
very
talking
much.
about the game, and
Awesome.
good luck with everything.
Thanks.